Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So for 7 years now I've been drawing the same photo of Karasuno at the movies, which means I've been drawing this since I was 15 years old, and that's why I feel like the first couple years I drew it was a little scuffed. That being said, I wanted to take this as an opportunity to look back at my growth through these 7 years and talk about what I can do to improve in the future. I honestly get really embarrassed to look back at this first drawing just because of just how low effort it looks. I remember showing this off back then and being so proud of it, and now realizing just how much people were probably just being nice to me when they complimented it. I'm not really a huge fan of making fun of my old art because I don't feel like it's very productive, but my other drawings at the time don't look so scary. I'm mostly talking about Hinata here, by the way. Hinata looks like he's gonna eat my soul. It was a very big project. I had to draw the chairs and then all the figures, so I understand why it looks so rushed in some places. I also didn't have a great grasp on anatomy back then. I didn't really start doing studies until I was like 16 or 17. The line art is also really messy, and I don't think any of the colors mesh very well. A lot of things also just don't really make sense, like why is Hinata sitting like that, and why is Yamaguchi wearing headphones in a movie theater? I wish I can go back and ask myself what I was thinking. Overall, I just don't feel like it's a very impressive piece. On to 2016, and I just feel like it's uninteresting in comparison to 2015. I feel like I can have a little bit of a laugh about 2015, but nothing really stands out about 2016's drawing. The chairs are really plain. Nishinoya looks like a literal child. It's also really obvious that I didn't really know how to incorporate reference into my art because it's pretty obvious I only really used reference for Yachi and Kyoko because they're so detailed. I do really like Yamaguchi and Tsukishima's sweaters. I think they're really cute. I feel like I also got a little bit of a better grasp on colors. It's nothing impressive yet, but it's not so frustrating to look at. But yeah, overall just kind of meh. 2017 is probably the first year where I'm not so hard on my past self. However, one thing that really jumps out to me about this year is how a lot of the characters just aren't the same size. I have no idea what happened there, but I can tell just by looking at it that Hinata's head is way bigger than Daichi's, and Nishinoya again looks like a literal child. It's just really weird. But this is also the first year where I feel like you can tell that I started to have more of an interest in clothing and fashion and all that, because the colors don't clash so much and the outfits actually look like something that someone would wear. The chairs though, the chairs are really bad this year. I really didn't put much effort. If I remember correctly, I had been really interested in the background in Steven Universe because they're kind of painterly. And so I was trying to go for that back then, but I obviously didn't know what I was doing, and they don't really look like much of anything, really. From 2016 to 2017, I just feel like there was a really big jump in my technique and skill. 2017, I started really taking anatomy studies a little bit more seriously, and I started doing life studies, and I feel like that really shows. Overall, good effort. Moving on to a really weird drawing, 2018. What's so weird about this year is just how small everyone looks. I really wanted to, try putting more focus into the backgrounds, and I feel like that really shows, but I feel like the characters kind of suffered for it. I kind of feel like the background kind of eats them up. My eye doesn't really immediately go to anyone, it goes right to a chair which isn't very effective for what I'm going for with these drawings. And again, there's weird sizing issues. Nishinoya's legs are really weirdly big, and I feel like Kyoko's really small. She's just really small in the corner there. Same with Asahi, he's just weirdly small. I really tried with perspective this year, but I feel like it really failed. However, I do really like how I started drawing faces this year. I feel like they're just nicer to look at, especially Tanaka's. I love how I drew his face here. I love how I drew Yamaguchi's face here. It's just, you know, everyone's so small and so far away, I can't even tell if I drew his freckles. Very strange. Verdict for this year, very, very strange. Please excuse the image quality for 2019's drawing. It has completely disappeared off the face of this planet. I couldn't find the original image file and I couldn't find any copies, which is so weird because I know for a fact I had it on my iPad at one point. Which is a shame because I really like this year's drawing. It's the first year that all of Karasuno is together, and I feel like there's a lot more of an understanding of anatomy here. And I really tried with the chairs, and I feel like everything just looks really nice. There are some issues. I know that Yamaguchi's feet look really big in this, and his head is tiny, and Kyoko's face is a little weird, and Inoshita's head is really small. But overall, I really like this. And Nishinoya looks like a child again. I don't know when this is gonna get fixed. I think by 2020 or this year, he starts to look his age, but yeah, I really wish I had the original file for this. Hopefully it pops up one day, but for now, my final thoughts on 2019, very good. "2020, a year." It sure was a year. Despite how terrible 2020 was, this is probably one of my favorite renditions of this piece. I just feel like there's so much movement and the colors are just so beautiful and the characters are just so fluid and everything's so fun. I love it. Definitely one of my most successful years. However, of course, you have to critique yourself to improve. I am aware that there again is sizing issues here. Looking back at this now, I can see that Kinoshita's head is really small, and it's made even more obvious by the fact that Naruta's next to him and he looks, you know, more accurate to how I probably wanted the characters to look. But even then, like, Naruta's shoulder is really weird and huge. So this piece does have problems, but overall I do think it's really beautiful. I really love it, and I feel like, again, it's just such a huge jump from previous years. 2020's drawing was actually done on my iPad, where all the previous drawings were done on Paint Toolsai. I do wonder if that had any effect, but I'm a firm believer that it's your skill level and not your tools that create your art. So who knows? 2020, very good. No one's ever said that before. And we're finally caught up to the present. I really felt a little bit of nostalgia making this piece just because it really took me a long time, and I remember that 2015's drawing took me like 3 or 4 days to complete. I know it doesn't look like it, but I swear it did. And 2021 was pretty similar. I had so much footage for this drawing. It took me, I believe, 3 or 4 days as well to complete this piece, though I do attribute some of that to me procrastinating a little bit, but we're not going to talk about that. That's not what this video is about. But yeah, I feel like because I worked on this piece for so long, I ended up despising it when I finished. After 3 days of it too, I was so mad. I was like, I spent so long on this and I still hate it. But when I took some days off and looked back at it, I really ended up loving it. I think it's like an improved version kind of 2020, because I do love 2020's drawing, but you know, there were some sizing issues. There's, you know, still some things to be improved upon, and I feel like this year really improved upon them. I tried to make more time to making sure everyone kind of looked the same size, and if they don't look the same size, it makes sense because they're a shorter character. Like Yachi, I feel like Yachi looks a little small, but it's because, I mean, Yachi's like 4'11", so it makes sense that she wouldn't look as big as the other guys. I also tried to make sure that everyone's outfits kind of coordinated with one another's, and I spent so much time on the chairs this year, and I think they look beautiful. I also love the colors for this year. I tried something new with the coloring style, and again, when I first finished, I hated it, but now looking back, I think it looks really cute and endearing. One singular critique I have looking back at this a month now after finishing this drawing is that I wish I had tilted Kageyama's popcorn bowl just the slightest bit to give it more of that movement. I don't really know why it didn't. I was just, okay, I know why. I should mention that this was my first piece in Clip Studio art that I've ever completed, because, you know, I tried it out and it was too complicated for me, so I gave up on it and went back to Paint Tool Sai. This is my first time trying Clip Studio in years, and I was trying, I've heard all the cool things you can do on there, so I was trying to use one of the like ruler tools to make the popcorn bucket straight, and then it just didn't work out, and then it did, and then I don't know, I got so frustrated that I guess it didn't even cross my mind that I should tilt it just a little bit. But that's my only critique that I have so far. That being said, I'm sure I will have more things to say about this next year. Speaking of next year, there are a lot of things that I'd like to work on in 2022, and the first one being anatomy. I've taken an anatomy class now, and I do gesture drawings now and then, but I want to brush up on those skills. I do gesture drawings a lot, but I don't remember a lot of, honestly, like the muscles and, you know, there are certain, like I remember the deltoid, and I remember the biceps and the triceps, but like there's stuff in the legs have so many muscles that I just don't remember, and I feel like, you know, just brushing up on those skills again in this upcoming year will, you know, it won't hurt. It's gonna help me so much. And I'd also like to try new coloring styles. I want to just completely break out of my comfort zone and use different brushes, because I always use like the basic, you know, what's given to me pens. I don't really try to make them custom. In Paint Tool Sai, I think I did make a custom blending tool, but I did that when I was probably like 16, and I used that up until like I was 19. So, you know, I don't like change very much with my tools, but I want to break out of that because I feel like there's so much I could do with digital. So yeah, I just want to try new things out this year. And Clip Studio has a big community of people who make custom pens, so I'm really looking forward to making more stuff with that. I also want to try some master studies this year. Maybe I'll do some videos of that, just because I've noticed in a lot of these years I have a problem with sizing, so I feel like just really taking that time to get my hand-eye coordination a little better. I don't know, I feel like maybe that can help me with that. I think my word for this upcoming year should be patience, because I really lose my patience a lot with art, and sometimes that's why I don't really let things look good, because I get so impatient and I just want things done. And even if I don't get upset, I get too excited and I have no patience and I end up rushing things. So I just want to, you know, slow things down, take my time, just like I did with this piece. And I want to continue that into the new year and maybe just chill out. So yeah, I just want to thank you guys for watching, and I hope you really enjoyed. By the way, since I had so much extra footage from this year's drawing, I'm making a separate video that's more of a full speed paint without commentary, so if you want to just chill and see my process, then that'll be up too. And tell me down below what you'd like to improve in your art in this upcoming year, or if you guys have anything you'd like to see from me, just let me know down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys around. Bye!